Well, everyone, one thing I've been doing that is, I think, kind of funny, kind of interesting is I've actually been asking Apple what their opinion is on certain older iPhones. So what I do, and some of you may know this, you can go straight into your iMessage application. I think if you're on iOS 14 or above, and you can actually directly message Apple and get a specialist, who can actually help you and answer your questions. Now, what's super crazy is that I typically have been asking them about kind of somewhat older, somewhat decent newer iPhones, things like the iPhone 10 or iPhone 10s, those type of devices. I actually went ahead and asked them about the iPhone 8, which I think is kind of the middle of the ground device. I don't think it's necessarily completely worth it. I don't think it's a super outdated phone either. I think it sits somewhere in the middle, to be honest. But with something like the iPhone 8, I went ahead and asked them, basically throughout, this iMessage application, I said, "Hi, is the iPhone 8 still a good iPhone?" And they mentioned to me, they basically said, "Thank you for your question. However, the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus has been discontinued and no longer in production. Its direct replacement, which is also our least expensive iPhone, is the iPhone SE 3rd generation. This iPhone SE starts at $429 with 64 gigabytes. And I pretty much said, I see, okay, thanks. Essentially, this response is exactly the response I was expecting from Apple with any iPhone I would ask them. I felt like if I asked them about the iPhone 10, they would have told me about the iPhone 13. I feel like if I asked them about the iPhone 10R, they would also tell me about the iPhone 13 or iPhone 12. But they didn't do that. With those specific iPhones, they actually went ahead and told me, hey, the iPhone 10 is still a really good iPhone and many people still use it. They said, unfortunately, we don't sell it brand new, but it's still a good iPhone. But with this time around, they kind of didn't even tell me it was a good iPhone, to be honest. They kind of just went straight into telling me that this iPhone, has been discontinued and no longer in production. So it's very interesting that this specific approach that this person was telling me was more so along the lines of this device, not necessarily, being worth it, not saying one way or the other, but just stating that this device has been discontinued. Now, personally, my opinion on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, specifically with the 8 Plus right now, or the iPhone 8, is actually that this device is still a decent iPhone in so many different ways. I think it's a really important iPhone too, but it's just not one of those iPhones that I would probably recommend buying anymore. With devices like the iPhone 10 or an iPhone 11, those things make so much more, sense to me than this specific device. So because of that, I really wouldn't recommend buying one of these iPhones anymore. I wouldn't recommend buying an iPhone 8. I think it's still an important iPhone, like I mentioned. I think it still has a lot going for it, but I would just recommend going straight to something like an iPhone 10R or an iPhone 11. Those things are going to be giving you a much better experience, in my opinion, than something like the iPhone 8 right now. So that kind of covers it up. If you guys still have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.